The Hisense U8K is all the TV you're really ever going to need. That's as fast as anyone's going to tell you, and we did that within the first couple of seconds. So subscribe, smack a like on this video if you like that kind of thing, and let's continue with some of the more in-depth reasons as to why. For starters, we all know the Google interface is not great, but they do a good job of making it snappy, and I haven't noticed any lagging or any real issues with the platform at all, and it's pretty much enjoyable. I also like that they added new features like, again, we have proper color spaces this year. It was something that was woefully lacking on other Hisense models that they added on this year. Now, in terms of HDR, I think that's one of the more impressive aspects of this television in terms of particularly the way they render contrast. So typically, HDR tends to have like a flat look to it, where this TV does a good job of just giving you like a contrasty look. Now, again, I don't know if it's my particular unit or whatever the case may be after firmware, but I'm not noticing like this crazy omega bright television like some people have reported. In fact, I've noticed that it's just what we've seen. It's kind of in line with the norm in this price range. You know, you'll get anywhere from like 1,200 to like a little over 1,400 nits, but not quite the full 15, and definitely not way over like they usually do. So this is actually a low area for Hisense where they're not over delivering in the brightness aspect. Now, that's not to say that it's bad. Obviously, when you do things like video gaming, it's literally a treat. I can't think of a better TV to have for that. A lot of people are concerned that maybe the X90 series from Sony would be better, or the X95L, or we're at L now, so yes, the X95L or something else might be better, but those TVs are just not going to compete. Sony's focus is on their OLED market, and the same can be said about every single manufacturer that are, notable, like really notable, like Samsung, so on and so forth. So in terms of LED, we've seen diminishing returns to the point where they're just there's almost like an apologist mindset being put out there now that didn't exist even 4 years ago, where they're like, oh, well, if you don't want blooming, then you get an OLED. No, if you don't want blooming, you get a Hisense or a TCL, really, because those two are dominating right now in the market. And I think it's about time we acknowledge that. And it's for no other reason than bigger manufacturers want to sell OLED. It's kind of common sense at this point. But that's a win for us because we are getting more. And when I tell you, like, this thing, as far as like the internal speakers, is just beastly. I love that you have the ability to go in and raise the bass and just be able to get so much more out of that. I was listening to this one song, man, and let me tell you, it was just absolutely incredible. It's called Playing God. It's really, really in depth as far as the bass and the details of all the instrumentals that you can hear. Very, very incredible stuff, man. I'm just going to put this out there. You're not going to find mini TVs with speakers on this level, especially in this price range. So Hisense did do a good job there. Now, there's no secret I don't like the design. I think the design is kind of shitty, but I think all in all, it does okay for what it's costing. It's not like breaking the bank and you're like stuck with some really just awful experience. You know what I mean? But when we talk about the overall aesthetic, design, what you pay for what you get kind of thing, you really aren't getting better than the Hisense U8K in a lot of areas. Now, motion isn't one of those areas. Now, TCL is going to be better for motion. I've mentioned that in prior videos. However, if you're, rocking 60 FPS or higher, motion is like super slick and super smooth. It's only lower frame rates that I noticed some problems with, so that's something that you guys are going to have to think about. But either way, I highly recommend this television, and I think, honestly, if you don't get one of these things, I would love to know what you got instead if you're looking at an LED TV, because this is about as good as it's going to get. Now, if you have questions about this particular model, make sure you ask, because I'll help you out however I can. And with that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty. Seriously, can't recommend this thing enough. It's a solid set. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later.